Let's get this out of the way up front. Market statistics are boring. Not for me, but probably for you. But here's the thing. Buying or selling a house in Fort Lauderdale is kind of a big deal. If you don't suck up this boring, you could end up costing yourself a lot of money or ending up with an agent who just doesn't know what they're doing. My name is Casey Prindle. I've been a full-time realtor going on 15 years now in South Florida. But this video is not going to be about me. This video is about you making the most informed decision that you can, whether you're considering buying a home in Fort Lauderdale or selling a home in Fort Lauderdale. If you find this data useful, please consider subscribing to the channel. That way I can keep you up to date on a monthly basis of what's going on in the Fort Lauderdale real estate market. If there's something else you'd like me to do a video on, feel free to comment below, call, text, or email me. So I'm going to go ahead and do this a little bit differently than I have been in the past. In the past, I just gave you one video which combined single-family home, condo, and townhome data all together in one thing. Now I'm going to go ahead and split them out into two separate videos. So there will be a distinct video for single-family homes, a distinct video for condos and townhomes, and I think that'll help people a little bit more. That being said, the intro for both videos is going to be the same so that I don't have to film two separate ones. So please excuse the redundancy. All right, let's start with single-family home sales in Fort Lauderdale. We'll look at the period from April 1st to April 30th of 2024. Sales data is taken from closed MLS sales during that period. Stick around to the end of the video. I'm going to break down the sales in a way that I don't think a lot of agents are looking at, and that's by price bracket. Let's start with median sold prices. Median sales prices, you guys probably know by now. I just kind of glaze over this. I don't put a whole lot into it, strictly because a number of luxury sales can really move this number around in a way that's not really reflecting what the market's actually doing. But that being said, here we go. 652,000, which is down from last month. You know, it looks like we're kind of coming off a peak here. Again, you know, we'll see what happens. Some big sales are going to boost this up. I don't see this coming down a whole lot more, honestly, but you never know. We'll see what happens. Number of properties sold. So this is something I do like to pay a lot of attention to, because this is the number of sales that are actually taking place, right? I mean, what else really matters at the end of the day? So here's the good news for sellers or current property owners. Sales are actually up around 70% since January. So we're only down a total number of sales of 11, down month over month. Not exactly what you'd call a horrific decline here, right? I just don't see a whole lot of doom and gloom here. We're coming into the busy season for single-family homes. So, look, a lot of the national headlines are just, you know, honestly, I think they're a lot of nonsense when they're talking about the Florida housing market, and I don't really think you can apply that to Fort Lauderdale. Maybe some tertiary areas in the state, sure, whatever, but you just don't get sucked into that for what's going on here locally. Let's stick to what the actual data says the market's doing, okay? Average list to sales price. List to sales price is kind of headed down, which is a bit of a surprise to me. The tighter the spread gets, the less negotiation we're having, and the better that sellers price from the start. You'll just see that worked through here. I was expecting sellers to be getting the message that they need to be more realistic in pricing. I'm not sure the bulk of realtors are passing this along to sellers in the Fort Lauderdale marketplace, to be completely honest with you. You know, I've pointed this out before. You know, when we were back here, you know, just 2 years ago, whatever price you asked, you got. And then we cratered all the way down here. And then we kind of moved back up, and now it looks like we're meandering, but I'm not going to be so surprised if this kind of takes a bounce and heads back up, but we shall see. We'll keep an eye on it. Median days on market. So we're up to 46 days. It looks like we're leveling off here a bit, maybe headed up, but if properties aren't sitting too long, it creates less opportunities for buyers and, you know, less room to negotiate. So sellers would obviously like to see this number back down here. Means homes are selling really fast, buyers don't have time to make a decision, and they just kind of have to see it and make an offer and that's that. But as we push up here, and I'm seeing this right now, it means that buyers can see a place. Yeah, if they're not in love with it, or they'll take some more time, they'll shop around. And so I'm definitely seeing this play through right now. But let's keep an eye on it. We'll see what happens here. Median price per square foot. So median price per square foot's at $421. Again, I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on this. You guys kind of know the usual routine and my usual footnote, which is the nicer stuff is selling. The stuff in better condition is selling. It's going to carry a higher price per square foot because it's in better condition than the junky old beat up stuff that needs a lot of reno. So again, we just kind of see that reflected here. Not going to be surprised if this bounces up either. Total dollar volume. Total dollar volume staying above 200 million, which is really healthy, I would say, honestly. Look at this. Since the 98 million in January, volume's more than doubled, right? It's a huge move. Just a huge move. So I wouldn't say this little pullback is a terrible thing. Not going to be surprised once again if we head back up, but that's what the slide says for today. Month's supply of inventory. All right, if you were a buyer and you were waiting for more supply to arrive, it looks like I'm here to burst your bubble, right? So this is going to kind of gets into what the actual issue is here in Lauderdale, which is we just don't have enough inventory, right? It's a tough equation here. I've said this a bunch of times. I'll continue to say it. We have oceans and Everglades. We have somewhat restrictive zoning. You can't just build like crazy. We have geographic constraints that we have to contend with around here. So there's no crystal ball, but if you're a buyer and you're looking at this data, it looks like we're coming down off the highs. We're coming into what is historically a busy season. So now may be the best time. You really have to jump in and get a decent chance at negotiating. All right, let's move over to price brackets. Let's take a look at how these price brackets broke down. 5 million and above, there were 9 sales. 3 to 5 million, there were 8 sales. 2 million to 2,999,999, 9 sales. 1 million to 2 million, 19 sales. 999,000 change and below, 120 sales. Look at that again. 73% of the sales taking place in single family homes in Fort Lauderdale taking place below $1 million. 84% of the sales taking place below $2 million. So if I'm looking at this, I think a few things if I'm a seller. First, it's best to be below 2 million. Second, if I'm above 2 million, my property has to stand out. Otherwise, my odds of selling are just low. Don't believe me? Well, there's 258 single-family homes priced above 2 million in Fort Lauderdale right now. There are 26 sales that occurred last month. That means there's more than 10 months of supply at that $2 million plus level. So look at it a different way. There are 155 actively listed single-family homes listed at $500,000 or below. There were 60 sales in that bracket between April 1 and April 30, leaving just under 4 months of supply. This is why I always say you got to know the bracket that you're shopping in. These markets are very different. One has 4 months of supply, one has 10 months of supply. But if you look at this months of supply graph that we just threw up with a little more than 5 months, you wouldn't know that unless you dug into the data, knew the bracket that you were shopping in, allowing you to make a more informed decision or have a better negotiation. So bottom line is, you got to know what bracket you're shopping in. Better yet, just work with me because I actually look at this stuff and I know it. Save yourself a lot of headaches. As always, if there's anything you want me to do videos on, comment down below, call, text, email me. If you just want to talk about real estate and you want to go get a coffee or a cocktail, well, I love to do those things. We'll see you guys next month. Take care.